Hey everyone! Today we're diving into an explainer of something absolutely foundational, something so incredibly basic we literally use it every single day without a second thought. We're going to examine the exact presentation and sequence of the alphabet, looking closely at the literal building blocks of written communication as presented in our source text. It's super easy to just kind of gloss over something we all learned as kids, but by stepping back and analyzing the specific structure laid out in the source, we can really appreciate the elegant simplicity behind how we share information. So let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into this. Our source text actually kicks things off with a super clear grounding preamble. It reads, Jahan A se zithak kevernamala diagayan, which simply translates to, here the alphabet from A to Z is given. And that sets the stage perfectly, right? It tells us exactly what we're about to explore, zero fluff. This straightforward, bilingual sentence is our absolute starting point for the journey. It immediately signals that we're dealing with a precise, contained set of data, framing everything so we know the exact boundaries. And look at how the source explicitly links this core concept across two totally different linguistic worlds, right out of the gate. On one hand, we have the Hindi word varnamala, which, by the way, translates beautifully to a garland of letters, and on the other, the English word alphabet. Before we even see the letters themselves, this sets up a structural bridge. It shows us that this sequence is a truly universal tool, a shared human framework that completely transcends a single tongue. And this brilliantly illustrates how incredibly deliberate the formatting of our source material is. By taking the English term alphabet and embedding it in parentheses right there into the introductory text, the author creates this really powerful visual anchor. It's a hyper-precise way of guiding our attention and making absolutely sure we're on the exact same page before the main sequence even begins. It basically acts as a universal key, ensuring the core subject matter is instantly recognizable. So, if we carefully examine the sequence provided, we count exactly 26 distinct characters. The crucial point here is that this finite number, just 26 individual symbols, forms the entire structural reality of the text we're about to explore. Think about that for a second. Every book you've ever read, every single text message you've ever sent, they all rely on endlessly recombining this tiny, highly specific group of characters. It is an absolutely beautifully efficient system, and today we get to look at every single one of those building blocks in order. All right, let's look at these symbols exactly as they appear. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Notice how we start with those sharp intersecting angles in A, and then move right into the distinct curves of B and C, continuing this awesome geometric rhythm. Each character stands completely alone, yet feels inherently linked to the one right next to it. As we move from D to E, which, fun fact, is the most frequently used letter in the English language, and then on to F and G, you immediately see the sheer visual diversity of the sequence right from the start. Let's move to the middle section and see how this builds. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. The momentum is really picking up now. Look at the visual variety we're dealing with, from the stark parallel lines of H to the perfect endless loop of O. We're moving through the core of the structure now, and the foundation is getting visually richer as we progress. It's fascinating how some letters like I and L are so structurally minimalist, while M and N pack in multiple intersecting lines, training our eyes to instantly distinguish them at lightning speed. And now we bring the rhythmic sequence to a climax with the final 10 letters, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. There is such a satisfying resolution in reaching this point, isn't there? The text promised us a sequence from A to Z, and we've officially hit that absolute definitive boundary, completing our journey through these foundational shapes. This final stretch introduces some of the least frequently used letters in everyday communication, like Q, X, and Z. Yet structurally, they are absolutely crucial to providing the phonetic edge cases that make our toolkit whole. Now, what's really interesting here is when we step back and see the entire unbroken sequence as one unified, monolithic structure. It's no longer just a string of individual characters. It's a complete, unified set locked in exactly as defined by the source. Seeing them all together at once like this really drives home the mind-blowing efficiency of the alphabet. This single group contains the raw material for literally every piece of written English in existence, a completely finite set with a truly infinite application. Which brings us to our final, slightly provocative thought derived entirely from the visual reality of our source. A to Z, a simple sequence, or infinite possibilities. We started with a basic preamble and exactly 26 foundational shapes. I want to leave you with this to ponder. How do these specific, finite building blocks serve as the limitless foundation for all the communication we consume? It's pretty amazing how something so incredibly simple holds so much structural power. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the fascinating structures around you.